Godzilla, King of the Monsters. What happens when this modern epic pays homage to the classic Toho?
What's up, Sunday fam? Welcome back to another video. I'm Element.
I'm Flip.
And we get together every Sunday to talk about all of our favorite TV shows, movies, and pop culture this week. Obviously, it's Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Oh man, I had goosebumps in the movie theaters while I was watching this.
Yeah.
As soon as the classic theme song came on, a modern version of it,
Yes.
it was just like, it just brought me back to the 80s, early 90s when we were growing up watching Godzilla. All of those classic Toho movies come to the forefront in this epic modern masterpiece. I don't know, should I say masterpiece? I don't know. We just got out of theater and I had a really good time.
I think within the space that it occupies, it is a masterpiece because like it's the only kind of contemporary Godzilla that we have for Western audiences, and I'm gonna call it a masterpiece because it's probably everything that I was hoping for in a Godzilla.
Yes, absolutely. Now, if you've seen the anime that's on Netflix, that is a different version of Godzilla. It still has all of the themes and it still has all of the lore, but it takes place like way into the future.
Yes.
And this one is more, you know, modern times, right? It even called it back in 2014 where the first one came out, and this is 2019, but like, man, it stayed true to form, to just everything you knew about Godzilla with a twist, just give it a little bit more of a realistic twist.
Right, and if we go back to the first Godzilla, a lot of the gripes that people had with the first one, it felt like more of a human-driven story, and we got about like 10 minutes worth of Godzilla in the last act. It seems like they fixed a lot of the things that I had problems with in the first one, which is why I'm so satisfied, because it seems like they were successful in trying to intertwine the narrative between the human side and Godzilla side, and where these aren't separate like narratives. They're kind of coinciding with each other, where their research and the drama between the humans is actually dependent on the Titans and the monsters this time. And so whatever happens on the human side affects the monster side. Whatever happens on the monster side affects the human side. And I think going back and forth like that, it didn't feel like the first one, where it was a human story and then Godzilla last 10 minutes we had a huge fight. There was like a lot of kaiju action in this movie.
Absolutely. Like where the first one I felt failed a little bit was it did focus way too much on the human side of the story. Like it was kind of almost very depressing and kind of like it focused on war, or I guess that's kind of true because it is kind of war against this Titan, but that was never really the case in any of the classic Godzilla movies. It was always about discovering these Titans and how they have come back to bring balance back in the Earth.
Yes.
And it wasn't so much of a like the doldrums of war or like the consequences of war. This was the consequences of the human evolution.
The human infection.
Yeah, coming back to bite us in the ass. Millie Bobby Brown gives an amazing performance, man. She had, my eyes were swelling with tears. It almost dropped, but there was a moment in the film where her acting was just like, oh, she's gonna be a star. That's all I felt.
I think she's already a star.
If she's not a star yet, she's already a star. Like, or she's becoming a star, because that was some really good acting on her side. Yeah,
and Watanabe-san's performance as Serizawa. You know what? I'm ready to call it. He's like the resident Japanese guy for Western movies. Every time they have to insert their token Japanese flavor on a Japanese property that's been Westernized, call on Watanabe. He's gonna recite some fortune cookies. He's gonna say, "Let them fight."
And hopefully that Zhang Ziyi is kind of our resident actor for Chinese, representing Chinese species. She's beautiful, and she was really good in this movie as well.
They were all kind of really good. I mean, Tywin Lannister was good as kind of like that middle villain.
Charles Dance?
Yeah.
He still reminds me of Tywin Lannister every time I see him.
That's because that's who he was.
We don't have time for this.
We don't have time for this. No, we did this. We had a plan to restore balance to the earth. In any case, everyone was pretty incredible in this movie. I think overall, We just got a perfect Godzilla movie. We had human drama, and then we had kaiju drama with Mothra and Godzilla's relationship, their symbiotic relationship being explored.
Ooh.
And I want to shout out such incredible lore, such incredible mythology that they explored. I was kind of concerned when I saw the trailers initially that this was just going to be them making up a story about Titans and how it was originally their planet, but they had stories about the pantheons and the old gods and the old civilizations.
Yes, we won't spoil it, okay?
Yeah.
We won't spoil it, but it definitely stayed true to the lore.
Yes, and it pays off. It pays off Ghidorah's lore. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Ghidorah's lore was paid off.
Yes.
And the final battle, just
it was just so
incredible.
epic. Yeah, we've gotten so used to these epic superhero battles of late, right?
Yeah.
This one was like an hour of epic battle. Like the last half of the film was just so spectacular, so epic. As my son would say, awesome, possum, billion, thousand times amazing. It was just so good. And, you know, you had Rodan, you had Mothra, you had Ghidorah, you had Godzilla, and then you had like all of the other monsters.
Yeah,
you know,
had a woolly mammoth at one point. We don't want to spoil everything, but just, you know, obviously if you know the lead up to what's coming afterwards, you also see a lot of Easter eggs with a certain ape. But you know,
a certain king.
But in any case, I think this is a great movie for you guys to watch if you are a fan of Godzilla at all. It brings everything to the table: lore, mythology, kaiju, human drama that's dependent on the kaiju.
Exactly.
The freaking score that plays homage to
yes,
Ifukube's original soundtrack.
Guys, if you appreciate the old classics from Toho, you will really, really dig the new twist, the new theme song for this movie. It really just kind of brings you back.
Alright guys, that's it for our review of Godzilla King of the Monsters. Go check this out. It's an epic, fun time. Go get some popcorn, eat it, enjoy it.
Yes!
Watch everything crumble around you as the kaijus go to work.
This is what movies are all about. Enjoy the magic, enjoy the wonder. Hit that like button, comment in the section below. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe.
Yes,
subscribe
yes,
to
yes.
us. And we'll catch you in the next one.